It's the Sports Kings.
Sports Kings. Big Mike.
He might fall off the wagon in the next 10 minutes.
And Rob Calloway.
It's about bringing talent. It's not about all the flash and glitz and glam.
Not your average sports talk show. The Sports Kings.
This is NFL legend, Work Done.
This your boy D. Howard, a.k.a. Superman.
I'm Jerome Bettis, the bus.
It's Cam Newton. Holla at your boy already.
This is Hank Aaron, and I'm down with the King.
Tell a friend, Kings is back.
And we are back. This is Sports Kings Live. Rob Calloway hanging with you on a Monday evening, flying solo dolo. Big shouts out to everyone tuning in. However you may be listening, either via Spreaker.com or iHeartRadio. We really appreciate you for being down with the Kings each and every night that we're here. Of course, when we're not here, we're there, and there is iHeartRadio. You can go back and listen to the archive shows. You can also do that on Spreaker.com. Don't let me forget about that. But big shouts out to everyone. Everyone in all the different countries that are tuning into the Sports Kings. As a matter of fact, while I actually have this screen up, I just want to make sure that I show some love to some of the folks that check us out. Let's see. Where are we? Geolocation. All right. The United Kingdom, Barbados, Brazil, Turkey, and then, of course, everyone here in Metro Atlanta, Queen Creek, Arizona, as well as Tacoma, Washington, and Ashburn, Virginia. Really appreciate you guys for being down with the Kings and, holding us down, again, however you may be listening. Don't forget, we can be reached via social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr at Sports Kings Live. You can also shoot us an email or 2 or 304 at sportskingslive@gmail.com. Over the weekend and today, quite a few things happened as far as me and things that were of interest to me. Had some good boxing on Saturday night on HBO. Had the opportunity to see Jean Pascal victorious on HBO, as well as Sergey Kovalev, who is like the man in the light heavyweight division. And so, I'm a big boxing fan. And so anytime there's some good boxing on, well, you never know. Look, I'm going to say this. You never know what's going to be good boxing, right? You never know until you sit down and watch. Of course, we had Power on Stars Saturday night. And, man, the plot thickens. I hope my boy Big Mike, I hope he was watching Saturday night. Because Saturday night, the plot really thickened on Power. I can't wait until Saturday. Now, they have me on the edge of my seat now. If we have time, we will talk about that coming up later in the show. Also, Ballers on HBO last night, another great show. Oh, man. I can't lie. These are the two shows that I talk about on a regular basis on this program. And these are two shows that I really, 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 really enjoy. Now, see, I'm one of these people that, if it's something really good to me, I'll sit down and watch it on a regular basis. If it's, and on days that the shows don't come on, on days that the shows that I don't watch come on, I'm a TV One guy. I'm watching Unsung on Wednesday night. I'm watching reruns of Martin. I'm the rerun king. MTV Jams, I'm like the Wayans brothers. I'm the rerun king. But Ballers and Stars have my full attention. Full attention. So if you want to talk about Ballers or Stars, you can always jump in the chat room at Spreaker.com. Download the app. It's absolutely free. Go in the chat room and you can chop it up, join the conversation. Not sure if Coop is in the chat room yet, but he's like the patroller of the chat room. And you can join this conversation. Also, yesterday, something big. If you're a fan of baseball, fan of the Atlanta Braves, something major happened yesterday, and that was the induction of the class of 2015 into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And of course, one guy that was there as a representative of the Atlanta Braves is a guy that put it down for many years right here in the ATL. He's the first and only pitcher, if I'm not mistaken, to have 200 wins as a starting pitcher and 150 saves as a closer. John Smoltz, the longtime Atlanta Brave, was inducted yesterday, and here he is during just an excerpt. This is 27 seconds. John gave a 22-minute speech yesterday, but here's just an excerpt of his speech from yesterday.
Glav, Maddox, back when I had hair, we had the time of our lives. It's the only time, Greg, you're not going to be able to talk about my bald head. So what I want to talk about is the time that we had both playing golf and pitching. What you don't know about Greg and Tom is that you know that all the statistics got him here, and they got him here for the Hall of Fame. But they did things behind the scenes for me that I will never, ever forget.
And in case you didn't see John Smoltz' Hall of Fame speech, when he was during that segment right there, he actually donned a black wig. It was kind of crazy. But, it was really good as an Atlanta Brave fan to see Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine and Bobby Cox, see those guys standing behind John Smoltz. Because here you have something that probably will never happen again. Probably never happen again. And that is to see any professional sports team reel off 14 consecutive divisional titles. Not to mention those World Series appearances. And I know a lot of folks always like to knock the Braves and the fact that they only won one World Series. But, at the end of the day, they got there. And what got them there on a regular basis. What got them there on a regular basis is the pitching. And first and foremost, before any Brave of the 90s, early 2000s should go into the Hall of Fame, it should be those pitchers first, and they're there. You talk about a rotation that, features Cy Young winners. It wasn't just like, we had good pitchers. These were top of the line. Top notch. And, for fans of, like I said, of the Atlanta Braves, these guys gave us memories that we will never forget. But in addition to John Smoltz, Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, and infielder Craig Biggio all went into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And, for Smoltz, as I mentioned, spent a lot of time here in Atlanta. 20 of his 21 MLB seasons were right here in Atlanta. 8-time All-Star, the list goes on. And of course, Pedro Martinez, 3-time Cy Young winner, 219 career victories, 5 different teams, and, won the World Series with the Boston Red Sox. Randy Johnson, another multi-Cy Young winner. I think he won 4 or 5 Cy Youngs, over 300 victories with several teams. And he led the Arizona Diamondbacks to the World Series back in 2000 or 2001. I think 2001, if I'm not mistaken. And so, and Craig Biggio, no slouch, 20-year career with the Houston Astros, did some great things within that organization, but not to outdo the 3 pitchers that went in with him, because those 3 are what you would call the cream of the crop. And so big shouts out to those guys on their induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, before I go into, any more of these sports things, I just want to give everybody an update. Last week, I was on here and I was ranting and raving about the fact that I had lost my iPhone. Well, my iPhone broke, actually. And, now I'm a windower. And being a windower, it ain't easy, y'all. I don't know how many folks had this Microsoft Windows phone, and I'm glad that it was gifted to me. My sister went out and actually bought the phone for me. But, man, I am really going through it about some of these apps that I don't have. Well, let me just say this. First of all, the platforms that we use, Spreaker.com, like I go to Spreaker, on the Microsoft phone, it doesn't have all the features of the, that Spreaker has on the Android or the iPhone. Then You go to iHeartRadio on the Windows phone, and you can't even do the podcast search. So you can't even listen to Sports Kings Live if you have the Microsoft Windows phone. And then, of course, I'm really going through it about this Nike app, this Nike running app. I downloaded a multitude of different running apps for the Microsoft Windows phone. None of them worked. None of them worked efficiently, should I say. Oh my God. I'm really going through it, ladies and gentlemen. And then on top of that, I don't know if I talked about this Friday, but on top of that, because all of my contacts were in the iTunes, I wasn't able to retrieve my contacts. So what I had to do was download a program that will allow me to see my contacts' name and number, but then I have to manually put in each contact into my cell phone. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. All right. So, NBA is a few little, just really one NBA thing, but it's two players. Mike Miller and Brendan Hayward, they were traded to Portland, and Portland is expected to waive both players. And now it's being rumored that Memphis and Oklahoma City really want Mike Miller on their team now. Of course, Miller played for Memphis before joining the Miami Heat. And this is kind of what Big Mike always talks about when he says that the NBA holds players hostage, because, when players really should be out to pasture, there's always that one or two teams that want to give you a couple $1 million to come play. And who's going to say no other than somebody like Ray Allen? I mean, but then I was reading today that Mike Miller actually wanted out of Cleveland because he wants to go somewhere and actually have the opportunity to play. Has somebody not told Mike Miller that his career is really over? And sticking with the Cavs, Matthew Dellavedova signed a one-year deal with the Cavs, so he'll be back. Their one-year deal was $1.2 million is what he signed for on that. A lot of things happening in the world of professional football as we get ready for the training camps to open. Some training camps open Thursday. I know here locally the Atlanta Falcons training camp opens. And coming up at 7:30, we will be joined by D. Orlando Ledbetter of the AJC to talk Atlanta Falcons football. Nobody is more up close and personal with the Atlanta Falcons from a media standpoint than D. Orlando. And so, we're going to chop it up with him and get his thoughts on this year's team and what quitting is all about. Because, that's what they've deemed what the Atlanta Falcons will be doing. Not winning, but, in honor of our new coach, Dan Quinn, we will be quitting. Now, if you ask me, I think Dan Quinn, has some pretty big shoes to fill. Mike Smith, arguably the greatest coach in Falcons history from a statistics standpoint. And I think that's what really matters, right? I think he'll have some pretty big shoes to fill. But nonetheless, I'm hopeful. I know this dude's pedigree, so I'm hopeful that, the D Orlando feels like I do. I know he's a Falcons guy, so hopefully we'll be on the same page in regards to that. Okay, so Friday, we didn't talk about it, but Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks actually laid out a deal for Russell Wilson, and the deal was worth nearly $21 million per year. And if I'm not mistaken, the deal, the guaranteed money was only around $22 million, right? And so, he hasn't turned the deal down, but they're doing what they call negotiating. They are trying to rework the deal because Russell Wilson feels like he's due about $65 million guaranteed. And, you know,